Hi everybody! In the previous video we learned that many people all over the world try to learn English, but not many of them can master it. The main reason is that schools and other educational institutions' English learning programs are not designed to really teach students. English learning programs demand that all the books that assigned to one or another grade should be finished within a year. Since books are too big to be finished within 1 year, students have only time to copy answers that teachers write on board. Very often, students have too many English subjects that also prevents them from learning. In my second grade class, kids have 11 English subjects and 10 Thai subjects. It is far too many books for little kids. It is always better to learn 2 or 3 books properly, perhaps within 2 or 3 years, than copy answers from 11 books within 1 year. English programs with so many books don't give students time and space for practice. That is why students cannot learn anything with such a teaching. Then you should also understand that all those modern English textbooks are made according to TEFL, Teaching English as a Foreign Language System principles, that recommends to learn grammar inductively, that is something like by guessing, while focusing on repetitive teaching patterns, and strictly bans translation. No! These 2 principles make learning English almost impossible. I wonder why they ban translation. If to take a dictionary and translate words' meaning into a local language, students will understand more and learn more. Without translation, they understand only 5–10% of learning materials. Even if they understand and learn something, they will forget it soon, because it is impossible to keep something in memory for a long time without enough speaking practice. Translation from English to a student's native language and back is very helpful for learning foreign languages. Almost all non-English speaking polyglots use translation, especially when they start learning. If you don't believe me, watch the following video fragment in which Luca Lampariello, an Italian polyglot, tells why he uses translation to learn foreign languages.
And what are the first steps you take when you start learning a language?
As I said, the most important phase in language learning is the beginning, because you find yourself in front of a huge mountain and you have to know how to climb it. So the first thing is, I tell myself, you can start climbing slowly because the path is very long. And I use this bidirectional technique. So I translate, I use my own native tongue to figure out the structure of the language, the foreign language that I'm learning, and I use it's called a bidirectional technique. Now I cannot delve into the details of how this works, but I can assure you that it works quite well if you know how to do it, because it's also important to know how to do things.
I also wonder if English-speaking people learn foreign languages in the same way they recommend us to learn English. That is, without learning grammar directly and without translation. Not at all. If you take any foreign language program for English-speaking learners, you will see that each word and each sentence is translated in English, and all the grammar rules are explained in English. Why then do they recommend us to learn English without learning grammar and without translation, if they cannot do that the way they recommend?
Welcome to the 11th Intermediate Grammar and Word Usage lesson of the LearnType Podcast Premium course. Let's start with the word
อะไร
The word
อะไร
normally means what when it is used as a question word, and it also means any or anything or nothing when it is used to refer to unspecified things. For example, what are you thinking about?
คุณกำลังคิดอะไรอยู่
You,
คุณ
pre-verb for continuous tense,
กำลัง
think,
คิด
what,
อะไร
time indicator for continuous tense.
อยู่
You, pre-verb for continuous tense, think, what, time indicator for continuous tense.
can anybody learn Thai like that? When I ask people this question, they say they cannot. Why then do they believe that they can learn English in such a way? When you start learning something, you should also know about a learning process itself. We live in a physical world, and our body functions according to certain physical laws. In the previous video, we learned that long-term memory works only through brain physical structure changing. It needs time and efforts. That is why all those broadly advertised fast and easy learning methods don't work. Then everybody should know and understand that we can do something if we learn and practice doing this something. If we learn riding a bike and don't learn riding a horse, for example, we will be able to ride a bike and will not be able to ride a horse. If we want to speak English, we should learn and practice speaking English. Just listening to a teacher, repeating words and sentences, finding correct answers in books or copying them from board will not help us to start speaking. Because to start speaking, we should practice speaking. We should make sentences and speak by ourselves. Thus, a learning process has two main components, learning and practicing. If the practicing component is missing, such a learning will be ineffective and useless. Because only intensive and long-term practice can change brain physical structure and enable us to get a practical skill. Without practice and getting practical skill, all your attempts to learn something will fail. Nowadays, there are many English courses that offer fast and easy ways of learning English. I saw an advertising video in YouTube where a nice-looking girl told about her masterclass. You don't need to learn grammar, to watch English movies, and to read English books. Come to my masterclass. I will tell you about one very important grammar rule and teach you how to learn 20 words a minute. Of course, vocabulary is very important, but you should understand that learning words without a context is useless. You will forget them soon. You should also understand that learning words will not help you to learn speaking. Because to learn speaking English, you should practice speaking English. You should practice speaking words in sentences, in dialogues, and in texts. Only in such a way you will remember them. The beautiful English learning system gives you such an opportunity. It is designed so that to give a learner all the necessary grammar skills and speaking practice in order he or she could develop the ability to speak English fluently and correctly. It is also offers specially designed exercises that enable students to learn English by doing. Beautiful English course is also a literacy course and a talking simulator designed to help learners to start speaking fluently and correctly. Learning English, you should go through some very important learning stages in order to be literate and confident in English. These stages are 1. Learning reading and writing. 2. Learning English grammar. 3. Doing special design exercises to develop the ability to make all types of correct English sentences, affirmative, interrogative, negative. 4. Doing special designed exercises to develop the ability to pronounce all those sentences correctly. 5. Doing special designed exercises to develop fluency in reading, in writing, in speaking, and in understanding of spoken English. It means that you should do a lot of practical exercises to get practical language skills. You should also have enough speaking practice in order to start speaking fluently and correctly and in order to understand spoken English. You should also understand that English language is a very big system that consists of many elements. In order to be literate, fluent, and confident in English, you should be able to know and to control all those elements. You cannot learn to control them within weeks or even months. There is elementary level, basic level, intermediate level, upper intermediate level, and an advanced level. If you are very smart, you perhaps can go up from 0 to a basic level, 3000 words, within a year or so. However, you will need many years to go up to higher levels, because the difference between a basic level and an advanced level is the same as the difference, let's say, between a small Cessna and an Airbus 380. Cessna has about 20 control elements, while Airbus has about 1000 or even more. You can learn flying a Cessna perhaps within a week. However, in order to be able to fly an Airbus, you will have to spend several years on learning everything about an airplane, about airplane control system, and on flying practice at first on a flying simulator, then on a real airplane. If you skip one or another learning stage, you will not be able to fly an Airbus. The same is with learning English. If you skip one or another learning stage, you will not be able to be literate, fluent and confident in English. Since nobody makes good lessons for beginners that can give initial knowledge about how to speak correctly, most English learners have enormous gaps in using articles, possessive pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, and in using of many other grammar elements that make our speech beautiful and correct. I am the only teacher who makes such lessons. All of them are about something that is very important but isn't taught properly or even neglected by other teachers. The beautiful English learning system is the learning stage you shouldn't miss. If you want, for example, learn riding a motorbike, you should learn riding a bicycle at first. You shouldn't miss this stage because you will not be able to ride a motorbike without the ability to ride a bicycle. If you want to speak English fluently and correctly, you should learn how to make correct affirmative, negative and interrogative sentences at first. You cannot learn it without learning grammar. Thus, beautiful English is your bicycle without which you will not be able to ride a motorbike to master English. Don't believe those teachers who say that learning grammar is unnecessary and unimportant. They deceive you. Learning grammar is necessary and important. Grammar is like a railway for a train or like a backbone for a human body. Beautiful English can help you a lot to understand and to learn grammar. I have invented the beautiful English learning system as a speaking simulator to help English learners not only learn English, but also practice speaking English. I don't want to deceive anybody. I cannot say that it will be easy to do all those speaking exercises. You will have to repeat the same words and sentences many times, at first after the speaker. Then you will have to make sentences by yourself, looking at color schemes and at a talking lingua card. Easy exercises cannot give a good result. It is the same as in sport. Can anyone become an Olympic champion doing easy exercises? Can anyone become a good musician without learning notes and repeating playing the same compositions hundreds or even thousands of times? Why then many English learners believe that they can do it easily, quickly and without any efforts? Stop deceiving yourself and trying to deceive the nature. Take the beautiful English course and start learning English honestly and seriously. With a beautiful English learning system you can do it. Good luck and all the best.